Hello, my name is Ross Brierley, welcome back to Five For Friday, and as the winter starts to descend, it is easy to be cynical about the state of the country, the state of the climate, the state of the World Cup, trainers not running their horses, horses not running their races, ground conditions, field sizes, 5 days at Cheltenham. Actually, it's really easy to be cynical, isn't it? But let's try and put a little bit of a pause on that and bring some positivity to proceedings. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper, and focus on 5 positive things about racing at the moment. Number 1, everyone's in form. Skelton's in form, Nichols is in form, Elliott's in form, Mullins is in form. Quite frankly, if I had a horse in my back garden and I ran it at the races tomorrow, it would probably win. After the tough few years that the Tizard team have had, what a joy to see Joe banging in the winners. Even Henry Daly is in scintillating form, and for a few years that surname was a little bit ironic, but right now it's currently a toss-up between which Daly is more consistent, Henry or Nick Luck. It's got to be Nick Luck. How do they get it edited so quick? Gary Moore, Jamie Snowden, Ben Pauling, Ollie Murphy, Tom George, you name it, they're having winners. And when Nicky Henderson runs some of his horses, he probably will too. Okay, that little bit of cynicism was just too hard to resist. Number 2, part of the joy of racing is the thrill of the familiar, and there's nothing more comforting than pulling on an old jumper and watching, well, some old jumpers. But one of the most evocative things about racing is the silks. Do you think we could get a series of jumpers made in famous silks? I'd certainly buy one. And seeing Diana Waitley's colours carried to victory with an impressive double at Wetherby the other day for Ollie Murphy brought back some wonderful memories. Menora surging up the hill in the Supreme, Snap Tie going down fighting behind Archibald, Wishful Thinking, Captain Chris, Rock the Casbah, and even Boychuk down in Gungadoo. I'm not usually one for nostalgia, but maybe that rose-tinted warmth could be useful at the moment. Not to mention the silks of the late Trevor Hemmings, who's rivaling the likes of Cezanne, Vermeer and Van Gogh in terms of posthumous success and recognition. There was something thrilling about seeing Favour and Fortune bolt up in those famous silks the other day. 36 winners from 157 runners since the untimely passing of the late great owner. And I hope for a big showing from his 2 runners at Doncaster tomorrow, evoking memories of the first time I ever went to a racecourse back in January 2005 to see the wonderful Billy Vodden record a victory in a novice's hurdle. The first jumps horse I properly followed, and very much 100% the moral winner of the 2007 Ryanair Chase. Number 3, a wise man once said to me, you lose, you gain. And at the time I thought it was a you win some, you lose some kind of deal. But what I think he meant was sometimes when you lose, you actually gain something from that loss. Whether it's greater knowledge of yourself, deeper understanding of others, or a nice insurance payout that you can spend on a second-hand Honda Civic whose dashboard light keeps coming on for no reason. Seriously, what the hell is going on? Last week's Ascot debacle leads us to this weekend's opposite of a debacle, and Newcastle haven't benefited from such an unpopular sporting decision since their football team was sold to a foreign investment fund. Epperton versus Constitution Hill is the kind of Grade 1 hurdle we used to get, and it's no obvious win for the odds-on favourite either. Henderson, of course, has had some famous horses beaten in this. Binocular, unplaced at odds-on. Epperton couldn't get past Not So Sleepy fully last year, and Bouvardere is still having nightmares about Cornerstone Lad. I bet he sees his backside when he goes to sleep every single night. Not to mention 15 years ago this weekend, a 7-year-old Denman was carrying 11 stone 12 to victory at Newbury. This weekend we could see a 7-year-old Lon Press carry 12 stone to victory at Newcastle. And the rehearsal could be the perfect rehearsal for a Gold Cup victory. And whose cold heart wouldn't begrudge Gosh and Cool Cody and Protectorat from the big wins last week, despite the small fields? Which leads us on to number 4. Small can be beautiful. I believe it was the mid-90s philosophers Blink-182 who said all the small things, truth care, truth brings. I don't know what it means either. Wrens are the best bird, newts are tiny dinosaurs, and sometimes you don't want a full Mars bar, you just want a fun-sized one. Which leads us to appreciate the joy of small fields in British National Hunt racing. John Bond was thrilling when rattling round Warwick last week, and of course the Clonmel Oil Chase. Blue Lord versus Tornado Flyer. Who needs runners when you've got quality like that? In one stable, admittedly. So whilst quantity would be nice, let's not sacrifice quality for those nostalgic dreams of 12-runner races where everyone had a chance. And finally, number 5 is Newbury this weekend. A cracking card, as it always is. Mainly because when you put good prize money on, they attract good horses. There's that cynicism creeping in again. McFabulous, Gelino, Bello and Time Hill lock horns over fences tomorrow. Walking on Air has a big reputation in that handicap hurdle. Even First Street for the Henderson team could develop into a nice graded performer, and he goes in the same race won by Epatante a couple of years ago. Right, that's enough positivity from me. Always look on the bright side of life and enjoy the weekend. Goodbye.